Once upon a time, in the heart of a forest unlike any other, something magical was happening. Imagine trees made of shining chrome, their leaves tinkling like bells every time the wind whispered through them. Imagine flowers that glowed with LED petals, blinking rainbow colors as if the stars had fallen to the ground. And imagine, right in the middle of this sparkling wonderland, the messiest yet most enchanting workshop ever built. Inside that workshop lived a scientist whose hair looked as though it had been struck by lightning and never recovered. His glasses were far too big, always fogged up, and his coat was decorated with mysterious stains that no soap could ever remove. This was Doc, a man who thought mornings were not for coffee, but for wild inventions. He hopped about with endless energy, already convinced that the day ahead would be his most brilliant yet. Not far away, a robot stumbled and clattered his way inside. He was no ordinary robot. He was a delightful patchwork of parts that had never been designed to match. One of his arms looked as if someone had built it from tin cans, while the other was painted blue with cheerful polka dots. His legs were so mismatched that one bounced like a spring while the other creaked stiffly with every step. His eyes, two giant googly orbs, never agreed on where to look. One spun in dizzy circles while the other winked whenever it pleased. This was Robo, clumsy yet full of joy, and ready for adventure even when his own feet betrayed him. That morning, Doc had an idea so grand that even his hair seemed to stand taller with excitement. He revealed a strange contraption. A machine that looked like a popcorn maker had swallowed a rainbow. Tubes spiraled in every direction. Buttons glowed in playful colors, and every surface promised mischief. Doc's plan was simple but magnificent. He wanted to make bubbles unlike any the world had ever seen. Not ordinary bubbles, but ones that could dance with butterflies, decorate flowers, and turn the robotic forest into a festival of light. The instructions were clear. Just 3 drops of the special solution needed to be poured into the machine. But when Robo tried to help, disaster struck. His springy leg launched him higher than expected. The bottle slipped, and instead of 3 drops, gallons of sparkling liquid starlight flooded the machine. What followed was chaos. The contraption shook like a wild animal, belched rainbow steam, and then erupted into a waterfall of bubbles. They came in stripes, polka dots, and colors too dazzling to name. Some grew as large as basketballs, while others floated delicately like tiny raindrops. Within minutes, the workshop had vanished beneath a frothy ocean of spheres. Even outside, the chrome trees wore shimmering coats of bubbles. Butterflies found themselves trapped in floating prisons, and LED flowers blinked from beneath soapy hats. Doc tried everything. First came a futuristic vacuum, which seemed promising until it began spitting bubbles back out 3 times faster than it sucked them in. Next came a gigantic fan, but instead of blowing the bubbles away, it spun them into a storm that split each bubble into dozens more, filling the air with a sparkling cyclone. His final attempt involved heat, but that only made the enchanted bubbles grow even larger, until one trapped Doc himself like a hamster in a rainbow sphere. Through it all, Robo sank deeper into despair. Covered head to toe in bubbles, he believed he had ruined everything. His eyes stopped their silly motions, and even his mismatched arms drooped with shame. He remembered the instructions, 3 drops, and knew he had failed. But then something unexpected unfolded. The forest outside had transformed into a breathtaking wonderland. The chrome trees glittered brighter than ever. Butterflies learned to surf the bubbles as if they were riding tiny surfboards, and LED flowers cast rainbow beams across the sky. Animals of every kind joined in. Squirrels caught bubbles in their paws, deer leapt joyfully among them, and rabbits invented bubble hopscotch. It was not destruction, it was beauty. And in that moment, Robo realized his mistake might not be a disaster at all. With newfound determination, he examined the chaotic machine. His mismatched parts, once a burden, became an advantage. His tin can arm slid perfectly into tight spots, and his polka dot arm twisted delicate valves with ease. He adjusted pipes, twisted knobs, and reprogrammed the contraption until it no longer spewed chaos, but painted art in the air. Suddenly, bubbles took shape. Flowers to match the LED blooms, butterflies to fly beside the real ones, trees that mirrored the chrome giants, and even bubble bridges and slides for the forest creatures to play on. The robotic forest had never seen anything so magical. Doc's bubble prison popped softly, releasing him, and he could only marvel at what his clumsy friend had created. The forest came alive in celebration. Mechanical animals played games with the bubbles, the trees swayed to the rhythm of chimes, and the air sparkled with endless colors. In the middle of it all, Robo bounced and twirled, no longer ashamed of his clumsiness, but proud that his accident had led to such wonder. Doc, beaming with pride, knew he had just witnessed the most extraordinary invention of his life, and it was all thanks to his imperfect yet brilliant companion. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the grand finale appeared. One enormous bubble rose high above the trees, glowing with swirling rainbow lights that illuminated the entire forest. Doc placed an arm around Robo, their friendship shining as brightly as the colors above. They both knew a great truth. Sometimes the biggest mistakes hide the greatest discoveries. And that is how a spilled bottle, a clumsy robot, and a messy workshop gave birth to the most magical bubble show the robotic forest had ever seen. If you enjoyed this enchanting adventure of Robo and Doc, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more magical stories that turn mistakes into wonder.